What is up, guys? Welcome back to GameBird Classic. The Nintendo Switch 2 reveal and release is just around the corner now. So today, I've brought some of my good friends and some of the greatest Nintendo content creators out there to share our fondest memories of the Nintendo Switch as we prepare to say goodbye. We've got AndresRestart, we've got Nintendo Prime, Josie Woah, Attack the Backlog, Rob at Rule of 2 Review, and Mike Odyssey. But without further ado, cue the intro.
In and out.
For those Slim Jim!
You're watching GameBird Classic.
One more thing, don't forget to hit that like button and smash that subscription button so you guys can be notified when I upload brand new videos. Michael Odyssey, take it away.
Hey GameBird, thanks for the invite. Mike Odyssey here. Well, basically picking the best, either the best game or my best moment with Nintendo Switch as we say goodbye to Nintendo Switch. Well, I have to gotta go with two big moments for me of the Nintendo Switch history. The first one, I'm gonna start with the little sad one. This is the retirement or the forced retirement from the voice of Mario, Mr. Charles Martinet. It was very sad to kind of see that going, the end of an era, right? It's just crazy to think that Charles Martinet is no longer the voice of Mario. And so for me, that was a very crucial moment in the life of Nintendo and gaming, but specifically the Nintendo Switch. That's where we see his last game, right? And the next moment, to give it a little lighter note, would be the moment I beat Breath of the Wild. I think that's what made that game for me the best game ever. And then, of course, Tears of the Kingdom followed. And so I think every moment that I beat a certain game that I loved on Nintendo Switch, that satisfaction that I got from completing a good story and just enjoying it, that itself is a moment in Nintendo Switch life. So yeah, I would say Charles Martinet, and then the other one is beating Breath of the Wild, and I'll say Tears of the Kingdom as well. So that's it. Those are my two biggest moments in Nintendo Switch history. Thank you, Nintendo Switch. I will miss you, but I'm ready for Nintendo Switch 2. Never give up. Journey on. Peace.
Thanks, Mike. Now let's go hands-on with Attack the Backlog. Oop, sorry, wrong channel.
Hi friends, hope you're all well. ATB here. First of all, let me give my massive thank you to GameBird for inviting me over on his channel so I can talk about my favorite Nintendo Switch memories. And I'm going to do that by talking about this bad boy box of magic tricks. Yes, the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. Made fun of today because of Joy-Con drift, but it wasn't always so, because back in the day when we first got the chance to lay our eyes on these little bad boy controllers, there's a few things that set it apart from the modern day controller, not least the amazing sound effect, satisfying sound effect it made when you connected it to your console. But of course there were other things involved, not least HD rumble and the little camera on the end there. The game that sold me on it was one of the best party games of all time. I don't care what anyone says, and that is 1-2 Switch. Because yes, in that game, it was insane. My mind was blown away. I remember playing a game where you had to guess how many marbles were in a box, and you had to do that by putting the Joy-Con in your palm and slowly tilting and rotating it. And I crap you not, it honestly felt like I had 5 or 6 marbles rolling around within my palm. It was an insane sensation. Then with the camera, this was insane. I remember holding up the Joy-Con to my mouth, and the camera would know when your mouth was open or shut. And so you used this in the game where you had to eat as many sandwiches as quick as you could. And it was crazy how accurate it was. It just blew my mind. But of course, the one we all know, the one that sold HD rumble to the masses, was the cow milking game. Because yes, it proved just how accurate and unsettling the HD rumble could become. as you used it to pull on a teat and milk a cow profusely. Very unsettling, but you could literally feel the milk travel through your hand. It was crazy. The only downside to all of this is that no other games really used it that I can think of, because we never really saw it used to that degree in any games going forward. Certainly not by Nintendo themselves. So to me, it's a bit of a shame that it's one of those other technological ideas that Nintendo had that never quite found its range, its home in the wider landscape of video games. So there you go, my friends. Those are some of my very favorite Nintendo Switch memories. I hope you all enjoyed them. Catch you later. Should get a sequel to that milking cow game though, I think.
Nintendo Prime, you're up.
Coming up with my favorite memory for Nintendo Switch as we look forward to the next system is so hard because the Switch has so many amazing memories to be had. Look, the Nintendo Switch has made a huge difference in my life, just professionally, personally, family-wise. It's helped with depression and so many other things. So when I think about just my favorite moment in general, I guess it has to be the moment that surprised me, hyped me, shocked me the most. And it has to be E3 2019. At E3 2019, Nintendo revealed at the very end of their event a sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was now in the works. And Nintendo doesn't do sequels for Zelda very often. They just don't. There's only a handful out there, and sometimes they're really spread apart. Like, yeah, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks are technically sequels to The Wind Waker, but different perspectives, different platform, didn't really feel the same. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, right? Zelda 1, Zelda 2. But then Zelda 2 was entirely different than Zelda 1, so it didn't really feel that much like a sequel. So throughout the history of the Zelda series, it's just kind of rare that direct sequels happen, and it was happening, and it was hype, and there was this cave system and this giant elephant thing, which didn't make it into the final game, but whatever. There was all this craziness going on, and I was so hyped. I was so excited, and guys, Tears of the Kingdom is now my favorite game of all time. So it lived up to my hype, at least. I don't know if it lived up to yours, but definitely lived up to mine. So when I think about like my favorite all-time moments, it's hard to ignore that my favorite game of all time had a reveal that was that moment. So lo and behold as well, the reason my channel might be relevant today is because my Tears of the Kingdom hype led to amazing Tears of the Kingdom pre-launch coverage, which led to my channel exploding. So kind of all just tied together in a neat little bow from personal expectations, professional success, and damn, man, the Nintendo Switch, what a ride. Now let's see what happens with Switch 2.
Thanks, Prime. You stole my favorite Switch memory. At least no one else picked that one. Next up, we have the wonderful Josie Woah. Take it away.
So my favorite moment, I guess you could say, of the Nintendo Switch, aside when it was initially announced, which was obviously huge at the time, was definitely a very recent one, and that's when Mario Wonder was finally revealed for the Switch. And I feel like, a lot of people might discount Mario Wonder. It's a 2D Mario platformer, we've had some in the past, but I think there's a difference here because we have been fed new Super Mario Bros. Games for years at this point, over a decade, and it was time for something new, and they really delivered. Mario Wonder, on top of having a beautiful art style and things of that sort, just looked new and fresh and just simply really exciting. And that excitement was something that I really needed. And so seeing that initial trailer where you could turn into an elephant and it had this thing called Wonder Flowers and it was this new exciting thing really brought me back to that feeling of playing Mario as a kid, playing those 2D Mario games that I loved. And I even liked a lot of the new Super Mario Bros. Games, but sort of having that in a brand new, very exciting way. And then when it was released, it's one of my favorite games on Switch. So on top of obviously when the Switch was first announced, I'd also have to say that I like to throw Mario Wonder in there as one of the best moments of the Nintendo Switch, and I think it's one of my favorite games on the system. Thank you so much, GameBird, for having me on. I appreciate it. Back to you, I guess. I don't know how to segue out of here.
And what a wonderful game reveal that was. But next up, we have the man, the myth, the legend, AndresRestart.
Hello everyone, this is AndresRestart, and for one of the special Nintendo Switch moments to me that comes to mind, I keep coming back to that moment back at E3 2019. This is back when E3 existed. So in 2019, in June, when we were watching that epic Nintendo Direct, it was already incredible. When they revealed Banjo and Kazooie coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that was already a dream come true. And at this stage, I was prepared to wait years before we heard anything about the next 3D Zelda game. Yet they started that trailer. The green swirls came in, those green swirls that we still talk about now. They came in, and then we saw Link and we saw Zelda exploring that underground area together, and then we saw a mummy version of Ganondorf finally coming back. That trailer was insane. I was so hyped. I was so filled with exhilaration. It was an incredible time, an incredible moment, and I was shocked that Nintendo would show off the next Zelda so soon after Breath of the Wild, and that it would be a follow-up to Breath of the Wild, the most successful Zelda game to date by far, and still, up to this point, it is. But Tears of the Kingdom ended up being a pretty good follow-up, and just during that moment in time, 2019, how they did that entire Direct, it just kind of goes to show just how strong Nintendo was throughout this generation. It was incredible, and they had a lot of things to keep us excited. So that's one of the many special moments that I personally have enjoyed throughout this Switch era.
Alright, clearly Nintendo Prime and AndresRestart colluded to steal my favorite Switch moment. So let's shoot on over to Robert Rule of 2 Review for a memory/moment that's out of this world.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Rob. I'm from the YouTube channel Rule of 2 Review, and with the Switch nearing its life and the Switch 2 right around the corner, I was asked by Cameron to be a part of this video and share my personal favorite memory from the Nintendo Switch era. For myself, that answer is incredibly easy, and it is unquestionably the reveal of Metroid Dread. For those of you who already know me, this won't come as a surprise, because I am very famously known as the world's biggest Metroid fan, self-proclaimed world's biggest Metroid fan, but it is my favorite franchise, my favorite series. Samus is my favorite character. I grew up on the games. I am old enough to have been playing the original NES Metroid game and talking on, the playground and during lunch at school with my friends, freaking out over the fact that Samus was a girl the whole time. And ever since then, I became a diehard Metroid fan. The reveal of Metroid Dread absolutely shook me to my core. I am not someone who live streams or watches Nintendo Directs live or any of that, but I did manage to capture my own personal recording of me watching that reveal, and it just had my jaw on the floor. Now, of course, being a lifelong Metroid fan, and other Metroid fans would know this, the concept of Metroid Dread was floating around for a very, very long time. It was a proposed and rumored in development sequel to Metroid Fusion back in the late 2000s for the Nintendo DS at the time. And it very famously disappeared and went mysterious. It went dark, and we just kind of assumed it was canceled or on life support. And many people just kind of let the idea of that game go. And other Metroid games continued to come out in the late 2000s and in the 2010s. And then suddenly, after a long hiatus, a brand new Metroid 2D game, Metroid 5, the sequel to Fusion, the rumored dead Metroid Dread suddenly became a reality on the Nintendo Switch in 2021. And then, of course, the game itself went on to be an absolute masterpiece. There was so much importance and significance that is wrapped up and summed up in the reveal of that game back when it happened at E3 of 2021. Not to mention the last official E3 Nintendo was a part of, by the way, and really kind of the last actual E3 ever, as sad as that is. So it's kind of fitting for those of us who are huge Metroid fans and fans of the Nintendo Switch generation, that Metroid Dread, this game that we thought would never actually be a reality, had a chance to be revealed to the world and confirmed as a real game at that time. And so it was a game 19 years in the making. It was the first time we were going to a new part of the timeline of the Metroid franchise, for those people who know the lore very well. And again, for myself, lifelong Metroid fan, lifelong Samus fan, I was aware of the rumors of the game back in the late 2000s, and to see it resurrected and turn into a masterpiece on the Nintendo Switch, there is no doubt in my mind that that is a gaming memory I will take with me to my grave. You can see my excitement and jubilation on my reaction video to that trailer. So, a lot of great moments and great memories of the Switch era, but for me, undoubtedly, it's the reveal of Metroid Dread. So thanks again, Cameron, for asking me to be a part of this video.
There are so many incredible moments and memories within the Nintendo Switch saga, but it was really easy for me to pick my two favorites, one of which you already heard about in both from AndresRestart as well as Nintendo Prime, and that is the reveal / announcement of Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild at E3 2019. Zelda is my favorite gaming franchise of all time. My very first video game was The Legend of Zelda on the NES, and I've been a massive fan ever since. It is the game that made me a gamer. Just all the hype surrounding the game, all the theory crafting, and seeing all the YouTube community, Nintendo creators coming together and trying to bounce ideas. What do we think is going to make the cut? What do we think is not going to be in it? Where do we think the story is going to go? Getting the return of Ganondorf, it had been so long since we had him in a game, was just epic stuff, and definitely one of the most memorable moments for me in Switch's lifetime. The other one is actually launch day for the Nintendo Switch. For some people, seeing is believing, and I thought there was something special when we first saw that Switch reveal trailer where they showed it docking and undocking, people taking it everywhere. But actually on launch day, getting the console into my hand and getting to feel it and switch between portable and docked mode and popping in Breath of the Wild and having a Zelda at launch was just fantastic. Having that console in my hands, I knew Nintendo just made something so special. I knew the journey with the Switch was gonna be a step above what we had seen with the Wii U or the Wii, and it was. There is a tall order for the Switch 2. Such a high bar Nintendo set, but I really believe they can knock it out of the park. I think Switch created this ecosystem for so many fantastic games, and Nintendo learned so much from the Switch. I just don't see how they can fail. This is truly a special device, and it's going to be greatly missed. Thank you so much to everyone who participated in this video. It means so much to me. The Switch is such a special console, so I really love that all of you got to share your memories. And folks watching, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know your favorite Switch moments, your favorite Switch memories. I want to hear them. I want to know what the Switch means to you. But until next time, this is GameBird Classic, signing out.